Leonardo da Vinci spent years working on the Mona Lisa. I made mine in under an hour using just 2 pieces of plywood. But here's the interesting part. This video isn't really about the Mona Lisa. I chose the Mona Lisa because everyone recognizes it, but the exact same process can be used to create portraits, animals, landmarks, famous artwork, or even a photo of your own family. So today I'm not just showing you how to make this piece, I'm showing you a technique that can give you hundreds of different product ideas. For this project, we only need 2 pieces, the background layer and the front layer containing the actual artwork. Once both pieces are finished, we'll glue them together and put everything inside a frame. And as always, I'll leave the file for this project completely free through the link in the description below. Now let's get started. Before I send anything to the laser, I lightly sand the entire sheet. I'm not trying to remove a lot of material, I just want to get rid of any small surface imperfections and make the plywood smooth, because later we're going to stain it and the final finish will look much better. Once the surface is ready, we can start cutting. Both layers are cut separately. First the background and then the Mona Lisa art layer. And I don't know about you, but I still enjoy watching this part. There's something relaxing about watching the laser move across a completely flat sheet and slowly seeing the final design appear. Once the cutting is finished, I remove both pieces and inspect them. I'm just checking that all the small details cut correctly and that nothing was damaged. Once everything looks good, we can move on to the stain. And this part is important. Don't use the exact same stain on both layers. You want contrast between the background and the artwork. For this version, I'm using a darker shade for the background and a lighter shade for the Mona Lisa layer. I start with the background and apply the first coat evenly across the entire surface. Then I let it dry for the amount of time recommended by the stain manufacturer before applying the second coat. Always check the instructions on the product you're using because drying times can be different. Once the first coat is ready, I apply the second. For the Mona Lisa layer, I do exactly the same thing, but with the lighter stain. Take your time with this part. There are a lot of smaller areas in the design, so make sure the stain reaches everything and the color looks even. Again, I'm doing 2 coats. You can obviously use more or fewer coats depending on the final look you want. Once both layers are completely dry, we can assemble the artwork. First, I place the darker background inside the frame. Then, the Mona Lisa layer goes on top. I'm using super glue to attach it to the background, but be careful here. You really don't need much glue. If you use too much, it can squeeze out around the edges and make the final piece look messy. For positioning, I personally like using a simple template. That way I know the artwork is centered and positioned exactly where I want it before the glue sets. Once everything is aligned, I press it into place. And that's it. Our laser cut Mona Lisa is finished. 2 pieces of plywood, 2 different shades of stain, and a frame. And honestly, I really like how this turned out. The 2 layers give it depth, while the difference in stain makes the artwork stand out from the background. And here's the bigger idea behind today's product. You don't have to make only the Mona Lisa. The same production method can be used for completely different artwork. You could make famous public domain artwork, city landmarks, animals, landscapes, custom portraits, or entire collections in the same style. The original Mona Lisa painting is in the public domain, so artwork based on the original painting can be commercially used. Just make sure the particular digital file or modern reproduction you use is also something you have the rights to use. You could sell pieces like this yourself, offer them to souvenir stores or gift shops, create themed collections, or simply make one as a gift. And honestly, not every single thing you make with your laser has to become a business. Sometimes it's also nice to make something just because you like it or because you know somebody else will. If you're enjoying this challenge, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe. It helps the channel a lot and lets me keep making these projects every day. The file for this project is completely free through the link in the description. 79 products to go. I'll see you tomorrow for day 22.